Good morning. It's Morning Oasis. This is Jessie Dujari. It's, let's see, what is today? Tuesday, the 3rd of January. We are already into our new year. Well, today my son went back to school. My husband went back to work. I love them dearly. Today the house is silent. Silent. There's no sound in my house at all today by anyone. Good morning, Shauna. Good morning, Jante. I'm like so loving the silence today. Can I just give you a moment to hear it? Nothing. When you're kind of one of us, where we're sensitive, where we're feeling and sensing and picking up, and there are 2 boys in the house for almost a month straight, whew, you feel it. So today I'm enjoying the silence. I'm enjoying the quiet. I hope you guys are enjoying your homes. I think everybody's kids should be back at school, at least if they're of school age. So today I had 2 card pulls set up, but one of them asked me to wait until tomorrow when she can attend because she's not feeling very well. So I have an extra slot open. I know, right, Shauna? So enjoying it. Oh, Andrea, yes, you've got reprieval, right? Oh, enjoy the silence. I'm going to play that song in a little bit. So let's see, the first card pull was for Ignacio. And let's see, Ganesh wants to talk with you, Ignacio, and I see that you're not quite on or here yet. Love that silence, Andrea. Oh, you know what? Here's what I'm actually going to do first, before we do the card pull. Good morning, Maria. Are you back in Portland area yet? So here's, I would love to pull for you, Andrea. Yes, so I'm going to put you down so I don't forget. And that leaves me with one more pull left open. Oh, Friday. Okay, good. Well, it's clear here and sunny. It's nice right now. So remember how last week I got a new pop-up book? This is the other one. It's called Dragons and Monsters. And I promised you guys I would show it to you. And I think Alex was the one that really wanted to see. But look at this. Oh, good morning, Alanya. Thank you. Look at that Medusa. Isn't she awesome? I just absolutely love this guy's work. And like I said before, his stuff has so much more in it, right? Like my son, he took one of the books and it took him all afternoon to go through and read the whole thing because there's so much going on in these books. But like as you open it up, it tells all these other kind of stories. You know, there's all these other characters and not just one. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? I just absolutely love this book. So I'll just show you the big pop-ups so that, you know, you guys will have the enjoyment of that. Good morning, Teresa. Look at that dragon. Isn't he awesome? Oh my gosh, I just absolutely love this dragon. Oh, Alex, you're here. Look, Alex, check out the first page. Isn't that awesome? Okay, let's see. Check out this dragon. He's a Chinese dragon. See his tail? And it comes in like, okay, let's see. This one is super cool. There's a lot going on. There's the ship that's being taken down by this giant kraken. Every angle of these pop-up books are stunning. She would totally love that page. Okay, this one is called Dragons and Monsters, and it's by Matthew Reinhardt and Robert Subida. I believe Robert Subida, well, they both did both of these two books. I think he's the artist of it. So I'll show you again. It's Dracula. And then this is the last page. He's so big. Okay, so that's my pop-up book. The funny thing is that I've now gotten everyone on board in the family. They're all loving the pop-up books. So I've decided, like, you know, once a month we'll pick a new pop-up book and treat ourselves until we have a good, healthy collection of pop-up books. They used to be my favorite, but they were nothing like this. I mean, what this guy does is a feat of engineering. It's amazing. And if you want to, you can look on... I know I post a lot of stuff, but I think it was about 4 days back. Well, no, it was when I got the first book. That's right. So it was maybe the day, I think around Christmas was when I ordered them. So the 24th was when I posted a video where the artist is being interviewed, and he talks about not only how he designs from an engineering perspective, the pop-ups, but how, you know, he plays with them and how he doesn't even quite know how it will evolve and what it will become until it is what it is. Okay, so our first card pull was for Ignacio. And we have one more spot open for card pulls, if anybody else would like to request one. Ganesh wanted to talk with Ignacio, so what he has to say, I'm going to look it up, but because, again, I don't read these very often, so I don't want to memorize them. It just feels like this one's coming from the author. I love this card, by the way. One thing I want to just make a quick reference to, when we start, I don't know if any of you guys, I actually am going to say that I do know that many of you, all right, Maria, you're next. I do know that many of you have watched this, at least those of you who know me, because I've been talking about it for a long time, but Ancient Aliens or any of those kind of shows that show you how all of the other cultures around the world are interconnected. The commonality of the spiritual and religious developments of all of these various cultures is uncanny, right? Like, once you start studying it, you recognize it's impossible for them to be separate. In fact, now Christianity can no longer hide its roots in Egypt, can no longer hide that its authenticity comes from that same region, from the birthplace of all of these other religions. It's all coming out and showing this one unity story. One thing that pops into my mind is, for instance, I started to study the Quran with a scholar who is a professor in Pakistan. He's a beautiful man, very interesting, and we talked for a while. And I would read and ask him questions. And one of the things that I found fascinating is, first of all, you know, when the Bible came through first, it came through first as the Torah. And it came through as the Torah through the Hebrews. And the Hebrews, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but it is common knowledge in Judaism, are not from here, right? They're not from here. They consider themselves to have come to this planet, okay? And in that time period, that tribal understanding that was existing here in a sense, the pharaohs were considered to not be from here, okay? They were considered to be from somewhere else. So aliens are not a new concept. Aliens walking among us, not a new concept. All of it is ancient concept. And this is another commonality. So we had a blue bird man, Thoth in Egypt, right? And he is that holder of knowledge. And then in India, we have blue Krishna, right? Blue Kali, blue representing this fundamental truth, right? So it's interesting how we have these commonalities, and this just came up, and there's a snake here too, a Naga, and the multi-headed face of Brahma, right? Brahma, the great creator, who has the faces of all. The all is one. These are all commonalities. Anyway, this card is guidance, and it's for Ignacio, and it's 33. 33 has been a number that has been coming up a lot for me, and that's community. And a huge part of that is, I believe, this community is growing. We are growing every day. We have people from all around the world coming together in this space where what we're doing is holding a time for each other to open up and receive whatever's coming through. And so many of you are natural channelers and trained channelers. So while we're doing this show, just take a moment in the beginning to open up that crown and to open up those roots just as you come into the show. Do your root grounding, do your crown opening on your own. I find that's how so much information comes through, and feel free to share things as you want to. We're growing, so I'm just repeating this. This is an interactive time period. I'm not, I want to help all of us bring what we have to this table. It's an amazing experience, and I love that. And I want to thank you guys. And we're getting the confirmations. 3s are everywhere. Guidance is all about learning to communicate with your soul and discovering and manifesting your purpose. Ganesh is worshipped and adored by the, Trimurtis. I'm going to butcher that, I think. I did butcher that. Or the Trinity of Hinduism. Again, a reference to the Trinity, right? That is an echo throughout all religions. The story goes that during the period of dissolution, the water and wind were demolished and the earth evaporated. Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva wandered the earth to determine what was causing the dissolution. The gods discovered a huge aura of light where Ganesh was enshrined. The Trimurtis immediately bowed to Ganesh in reverence and began to worship and praise him. They requested that Ganesh bless them. Ganesh entrusted the gods with 3 separate duties. Vishnu is the preserver, Shiva is the destroyer, and Brahma is the creator. Guidance is based on communication. The soul can send you messages through symbols, synchronicities, hunches, sudden inspirations, dreams, and even direct channeling. Oh, what we were just talking about. Consciously connecting with your guides, heightening your psychic abilities, and fine-tuning your skills to be present and to pay attention are all important parts of learning to receive guidance. As you open up, your soul begins to communicate to your inner purpose for this lifetime to you. When you learn to heal and recognize its promptings, your life starts to take on a magical quality. And I know so many of you can attest to that as well as I can. Remember that you can ask Ganesh to support you in creating a raised awareness. Make a point to look at spirituality from a new perspective that may be unfamiliar to you. Be willing to talk to people whose experiences and beliefs are different from your own. You may need to move out of your comfort zone in order to do this. You will be all the richer for it. If you are concerned about getting true information about your personal life from a psychic or an intuitive, as the mail comes in, you can prepare for it by asking for your heart to receive information that is from the highest good, Be sure your motivations are pure. You can ask the psychic to channel the words that your own soul wants you to hear to further your spiritual growth. That's if you feel you need to. I'm going to add in there, because you're watching this show, when we are channeling, when we are grounded and connected, ask your soul to communicate this with you, and recognize that as those things come through, as little thoughts or little memories, or maybe a smell, or a craving, or a desire, or an urge, those are the synchronicities that are communicating with you, okay? Be attentive to your dreams. Okay, the rest of this I don't feel like I need to read. So that is perfect, perfectly in alignment with what we were talking about earlier. And I'm going to pull for Andrea. Ganesh also wants to talk to you, Andrea. And Alex, I'm going to put you down for tomorrow, okay? Because I do want to make sure we have time to talk about. So tomorrow it'll be Alex and Gidget. And one more slot for tomorrow open. Okay, so let's see, Andrea. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen this card yet. It's so beautiful. Okay, so I also, by the way, when I get a deck of cards, I actually don't go through and look at every single card. I allow myself to become exposed to the cards as they reveal themselves to me. Hi, Teresa. Good morning. Thank you. Okay, so Andrea, this is your card. It's guidance. Is that not stunning? This, to me, this golden color, is the golden color of that energy that comes down when I call that source energy to come and liquidy through me. And it has with it like an opalescent, prismatic tone spectrum to it. So though it's golden, it's like as you turn it, you get this opalescent sheen. So it's really encompassing all of these other color spectrums as well. I don't know, I always love to hear how other people experience energy and to describe it myself, so that for those of you who have that, you can give confirmation, and for those who have different, we can expand our understanding, right? Which is what the last card was actually also saying, right? I'm so much better today, by the way, you guys. I want to thank every single one of you who sent me love, energy, flow, intention, focus. I felt so many of you all throughout the day. It was awesome, and you really supported me in flowing through this. And Tiffany Styles, she called it. She was bang on. She told me that it was all about my releasing of the karmic debris, as well as this energy that we've been going through, which is what we'll talk about in a minute. So harmony. Oh, let's talk about those synchronicities 1 second. The number for harmony is 22. 33, 22. More signs, more signs. This is for all of us, guys. Thank you, Alex. Let's see. This is how we heal collectively, and that's why when we bring what we have to the table and show ourselves fully, we allow everyone to come and step forward. How many of us were feeling yucky yesterday, and we can all tap into that space, tap into that web of collective support and healing and love. And when we ground into the show each time, 22 for weeks, when we ground into the show as we come into the space, whatever time it is that you're watching this, whether it's recording or you're attending this live, you can tap into this energy. We're holding it for each other. I'm going to really start making that a point to bring into focus as we move forward, just to help us all as I release more. 22, harmony. You deserve to feel good about your existence. This card is symbolic of your personal beliefs and what will bring you happiness in your life, Andrea. Ganesh is asking you to remember to radiate warmth and energy, which you do effortlessly as you walk through the world. One of the reasons you're so amazing and beautiful. Take time to reflect on your personal values and attitudes. What do you believe will bring you the outcomes that you are longing for in order to have a complete and happy life. The color orange can refer to a period of socializing, activity, and new adventures. Orange is the color of the sacral chakra, which is what I'm working on, which is a big part of why the energies coming through to me are so golden and orangey. And the reproductive systems. It can symbolize happiness and love. We store our feelings and emotions, pleasure, sensuality, intimacy, and connection in this domain. How deserving do you feel? When you feel that you deserve good, you treat yourself well and require that others treat you well also. Oh, love, we're both in the thick of this one. I'm going to try not to cry. When the sacral chakra is clear and the energy is in balance, you're friendly, compassionate, and empathetic, and full of concern for others. You will experience a very strong sense of belonging. Feel good about your life and enjoy your time with your friends. And do what's necessary to bring yourself into alignment with what you want from a relationship in your life. And I think that's just so on point for both of us, really redefining how we relate and what energy is coming through. Ganesh wants to do the last pull too, which is for Maria. Let me write that down because I'm trying to kind of remember. Yes. Oh, completely, Alex. I completely agree with you. This balancing of the right brain and left brain, masculine and feminine energies in our bodies as well as in our consciousness and inner energies is huge. Breathing technique by covering one nostril and let's see. It's not showing me the rest of that, Alex. So if you're watching this live or you're watching this as recording, read that. Alex is an amazing shaman. She's one of those powerful ones that's been doing it her entire life, and it's like to her it's kind of old hat. She's like, I'm over it, whatever, it's energy work. Oh, I'll do it, and now she's kind of figuring out the muggle world. I love her for that, by the way. Alex, you're amazing. Okay, so thank you for that, Alex. Okay, and I will go back and read that after the show. So Maria. Oh, interesting. So Maria, this one is card number 31, and it's decision. And I think, Andrea, a large part of that, by the way, is that what causes us to feel out of balance, to feel an imbalance in our energy, to feel out of alignment with a whole, balanced, masculine and feminine energetic state is this is what's being highlighted right now, because the energy that's coming through has both. So what resonates with it is humming and buzzing, and what doesn't is like so if one side is flowing really well, that's going to bring a channel through you, just like in a river. If the river is a clear chute, it's going to build up a lot of speed and it's going to go fast. Those bends are what slow the river down, right? So if you've got like one channel that's going fast, then it's going to really get a backup on the other side and cause more problems on the other side. So if you're consciously connecting and channeling that source and Gaia energy through and finding that some things are breaking really big, just recognize that's your ice dam of old pain. And that pressure is going to breach that dam. And the breach is going to open up and flow. So you're more in masculine in a lot of ways. Yeah, one of the things that I found was, for myself, I found that I was attracting to myself a lot of men friends for this period, for a few years there. Lots of different men friends that were beautiful, wonderful men who held like no attraction to me at all. So it was rewriting that programming for me that I'm supposed to be this sexual being or appealing, or, you know, I didn't have to participate in that way with these men. It was beautiful, and they were so wonderful for me. They helped me so much in being able to find safety, find comfort, find joy with in the company of men again, instead of feeling like I had to be guarded or had to be protected as a result of my history. So anyway, one of the things that I had an experience of was a healer told me in this group setting that I was completely out of balance, and I was so far into the feminine energy that I almost held no masculine energy at all of my own. And I was really confused by that because, one, I had a lot of men friends. I was more comfortable hanging out with men. I can't stand the things that I view as feminine problems, like cattiness or gossipiness or backstabbiness or blaming or shaming, or, you know, which is obviously female energy in extreme, right? Out of balance, lacking its own balance in itself. So I believed, my belief was that I was rejecting the feminine energy and I was more masculine. I could tell a good crass joke, you know, like I could smoke a cigar. Like, you know, I felt this way. And so for him to tell me that I was out of balance and that I was all the way extreme feminine was super hard for me to receive. And by receiving it, I went home and I used my compass. Am I out of balance? Yes. Am I out of balance to the extreme in the feminine? Yes. Oh, do I need to, is that why I'm surrounding myself with these men and trying to emulate this what I view as masculine behavior? Yes. Oh, so am I trying? It's like my body is saying, bring it in. So what I did was, because I didn't, in my belief system, didn't believe I could even connect to my own masculine energy, I started kind of tuning into these men that I loved and cherished and the relationships that I held so dearly, tuning into the vibrational frequency of masculine energy that they held. And I kind of called it in. And it obviously didn't feel quite right. It's not mine. But it felt good. It felt familiar. It felt comfortable. So I got comfortable holding that masculine energy with men, from men that I trusted and loved and respected. And then I actually felt like, wait, I want my own masculine energy to come in. So I started to consciously bring that in. And then perfectly, I met a friend, one of my friends came to me and said, oh, well, that reminds me of Hannah Neal. That reminds me of this Kabbalistic thing where you call in your divine masculine and a divine feminine. You want to do that? And I'm like, heck yeah. Heck yeah. So it was a beautiful ritual, and it was powerful, and it felt wonderful. So I do participate in rituals, though I don't teach them. And it was a wonderful experience. So Andrea, I felt like I needed to share that with you. And since also, Alex, I want to try your technique as well. But so it's in the air. You know, this balancing of those two energies is definitely in the air, which is what we're going to get to in just a few minutes to talk about. So I'm going to quickly just do this decision. Maria, it looks like you're facing some sort of a choice or decision. And yeah. And I'm going to just really quickly scan over it. Consider all of your options and make an informed choice. Yeah, it's time for you to sit with all the options and recognize that if you're only seeing one or two options, this is what's coming through immediately. If you are only seeing one or two options in a choice or in some sort of opportunity in front of you, it is time to stop. What you're running are filters. The filters are hiding all other possibilities because they're trying to steer you into a direction that's ultimately to show you one of those pieces that needs to be brought back into the internal. A part of you that needs to be recognized is knocking on your door and saying, let me in, love me. Can you love me now? Can you love me now? So find those parts, then go back and look at the situation or the choice or the decision that you need to make and determine what actually needs to be decided. And you will find, if you give yourself that time and you find those pieces, when you go back, you will be able to see that there are far more than just the one or the two options that you're seeing. So that's what came through for that. And Alex, you need to do the opposite and bring your feminine energy in. Yeah, that makes sense. So I do think that that's what we're going to do today is a masculine and feminine balancing meditation. But what I want to talk about, and I'm going to do this kind of briefly. So while I talk about this, I'd love for all of you, again, I'm just going to reiterate, bring your roots in, open up your crowns, do that grounding and connecting exercise and get yourselves good and ready, because I'm going to go through quickly. We ended up talking a lot about a lot of the issues that I wanted to cover, but through obviously a different medium. What's happening today? Like, what is it that's going on right now energetically? Why is it that collectively we have head colds? Why is it that collectively we are feeling and experiencing these breakings, these coming ups of the things that don't work, and these complete explosions of almost euphoric proportions of things working, right? So like we have this duality going on right now. A lot of us do. And obviously, you know, we're in this unity consciousness space, but what's happening to the unity consciousness? So I wanted to talk about it quickly from a mechanistic perspective, from a purely physical perspective. We are a planet, right, orbiting a sun. And right now, let's see, we entered into this state. It's called APDM, all planets in directional motion. There was a presentation done by Stephanie Forrest, and she published an article about this. And basically what's happening is right now, if you look at our solar system, all of our planets, from Mercury all the way to Pluto, dwarf planet, whatever, are together right now. They're not in a complete perfect line, but they're all together moving forward at their own rates. For the next month, we're all going to be in this kind of zone together, coming from the energy of the sun coming through, right through all the planets. And it's this directional, it's a wave of energy that the planets are pushing forward. So we are pushing forward as a solar system right now. And that's beautiful, I think. We're coming into alignment in a way with each other, in a dance, right? It's that dance of alignment. And on top of that, our solar system right now is orbiting that black hole at the center of the Milky Way, our galaxy, right? We're orbiting our galaxy. Now, it's not actually a flat plane of orbit like this. It's not that neat. It's in a orbit, a precession, right? There's a up and down as well as around motion going on. And as we go through, when we come up or go down through this plane of common energy, right? Because the main plane of the galaxy is here, let's say. As we pass through that plane, we are exposed to a higher intensity of galaxy or galactic energy. We are in the wave of energy as it's spiraling in towards that black hole, because the whole galaxy is orbiting its faucet, its drain. But also as it travels out, the light that comes to us from the Milky Way, right? So we're in that plane, and it's impacting our sun. Our sun is expanding and getting all sorts of gigantic coronal holes and huge sun flares. Our sun is shifting in this energy, as well as the planetary bodies are shifting. If you're at all following that, on each of our different planets, the atmospheres are shifting a little bit. They're having bigger storms. I believe it's Ios, one of the moons of Neptune, I think it is erupting. The intensity in our solar system is showing us and displaying to us that something galactically is happening. It's not just that I might step on a few toes here, it's not just that we have a lot of emissions coming out of our human civilization and toxic debris. We have those things. This isn't a denial of that. However, something bigger is also going on. There's a bigger shift and change that's happening. And this is a cyclical thing. It happens, I believe, every approximately 24 to 25,000 year cycle. That's why we have these ages that we talk about of development, the rise and fall of different civilizations, going through these processes. So all of that said, right now, what we're being exposed more to are what's called gamma rays. And gamma rays shift the way our energy vibrates, which means it's shifting the way our physical matter is being impacted by our energetic expressions that are coming through. The vessels are changing. Things are opening up. It's kind of like there's a new, I don't know if any of you guys have heard of this, there's a place in Portland called Body Quirks, where sometimes we do our exchange, the psychic gallery readings at. And they have all these machines there that are shaker plates. And my dad uses one of these also. I forget what they're called. But they vibrate. And they vibrate in an irregular pattern and way. And each of these machines does it differently. And by standing on this machine or being on this machine and doing any exercise, let's say if you only are on it for a few minutes, it increases the exercise by tenfold, because the body in this shaking system, the nerves are all having to like readjust and wait, where am I? So it forces every nerve ending in the body to activate and stimulate and seek a connection and seek understanding. It says, okay, whoa, the normal gyroscope in our hearing system isn't working right now. So it uses every other system to try to find its stability, find its balance. Well, the same thing is happening right now. So that means that your senses are all awakening. They're all coming online. The earth is shaking us. It is vibrating. If you look at the USGS site, you can see that the amount of earthquakes that are happening right now, huge increase, especially in places that don't normally experience earthquakes. The shaker plate is going. It's being driven by this galactic energy exposure that we're getting. And it's helping all of us to ascend in our consciousness, to shake out and release all this debris. So I saw, Tiffany, that you joined, and you were completely right when you said that I was releasing karmic debris. I got this reading from a woman unexpectedly in a conversation where we were talking about another woman was writing a wish list to the universe of what kind of man she wanted, what she wanted her future husband to be. She's in a very different place than I am. She's she's in her 60s, and she's looking more for a companion to enjoy. And so she asked me, what would I put on this list? And I said, well, I would put that he would be able to mirror for me the truth so that I would go down my path of growth and expansion in my best possible way. And the other woman looked at me and she goes, do you like it like that? And I laughed, and she goes, that sounds really hard. And I said, yeah, well, I do actually. I like the result. I like who I've become in my marriage, and it is very challenging, a very challenging mirror. And she kind of looked at me for a minute and got that look that you get when somebody is reading your energy. Looking just to the side, look right over here, and then right over here. And she said, "Oh, you and he have been doing this for a while. You need to tell him you're not his slave anymore. You need to tell him that. And he's not your dad either. Oh, and you need to stop being his mom." Like, and I said, I just laughed. I was kind of like, my jaw dropped. I said, you just named the 3 problem dynamics in our marriage. He treats me like his slave and like he's my dad. And he acts like I'm his mean mom, like that in his way. So it's been this process over the last month of shaking that off, realizing, oh my God, we're still carrying the energy of those expressions, of course, because they're still happening right now. We're carrying that, and it's time to release it. It's time to be done carrying and playing out that expression. Learn the lessons, all done playing the contracts. So as I've been doing that, and look, I just for the first time got sinusy again as I'm talking about it. So it was bang on. Now, that was what I wanted to talk about for Ascension symptoms. So we'll move right into the meditation, and we're going kind of quick because we spent a lot of time in the earlier part with guidance. So I believe all of us are grounded and connected. I'm going to just feel. Yeah, you guys are great. Good job, guys. So let's just feel those roots and feel that Gaia energy flowing through. Really connect into it in this time, in this space. Oh, I love it. We don't even have to disconnect from anything else. All of you guys are already doing it. Bringing that up, energy through, and feeling that connection as we open more intentionally with more awareness. Opening those crowns like a great big open funnel. Wow, you guys, this feels so good. Thank you for creating this space with me. Feel the difference in this space right now, that we've done this with intention of creating it for each other and holding it for each other. Feels very good. All right. Now we're going to call into focus in our bodies any areas that are blocking our flow of our divine masculine or our divine feminine energy in the body, and allow the body to show us, whether it be by pain, be by stickiness or stiffness, soreness, whether it be a memory, an emotion, a smell, whatever it is that the body, the physical body, that energetic body, our mental, the idea state, whatever we hold, just allow it to be shown and come forward. As we flow more of that energy through the vessel, through our energetic field. Now I want you to imagine that in front of you, you have one of those library card indexes. Remember those from the olden days? One of the big cabinets that have all the different drawers with all the letters of the alphabet from A through Z. And this card catalog box, this is you. Within it contains the reference cards for every expression you have ever held, every point within that expression. I want you to pull out, open up any of those drawers that hold expressions with contracts, vows, oaths, or agreements within them that in any way reference these debris holding parts that we're feeling. They're going to be echoed through other lives and other expressions. So we're going to do what's called an Akashic clearing, right? That library box, this is just another tool for viewing your Akashic. Pull all those drawers out and imagine that you have little reference points, little cards, little tabs. Here's one. Here's one. Just pull all those reference contracts, all oaths and agreements and vows that keep you anchored here in the three-dimensional expression and the fourth-dimensional consciousness. All that are ready to be released, all that have been completed, all that are finished and we have yet to clean out. Call them all forward. Mark them as cleared, check them off, break them, rescind your agreement to participate in them. It's time to move forward and send them up into source. Plug them into that main source data frame. Like you got a big floppy drive and a floppy disk, just stick it in there and upload it into source so that source can understand these contracts of itself, understand these perspectives, full awareness, full knowledge, full understanding. As we flush clean our card index, dust it out, blow it out, clear it and release it of the karmic debris that we are holding in any way as a result of these unresolved contracts, oaths, vows, and agreements. Just flush it and clean it. And send all of that also up into source, like you got a great big dustbin. Ooh, a shop vac. Suck it all out. Play with the energy. Play with your Akashic. Play with your cabinet. What does it need? Okay. You're going to hold this space for a few moments. Ask to be shown any other contracts, oaths, vows, or agreements that have yet to be completed because you have yet to understand them. And ask to be shown the truth. Give yourself a little screen to view it on if you need to. Maybe a little iPad. And look at these truths. See these parts of yourself. Allow them to be true and to love yourself because of them. Ooh. And see the next one. Keep going. Remember, the breath is how we release toxins. It's our biggest detoxer right there is our lungs. So release it through the breath. Good. If you're watching this as a recording, you can take time and pause and continue working in your cabinet for as long as you need to. We're going to move on. You can come back and do this again. This is what I come back to and do each time I realize, ooh, I just learned a big lesson. Time to clear out that cabinet. Time to see where else this lesson is playing out. Let's clear it out of the whole system so we can remove that faulty programming from the line of code, right, of my full expression. That's what we're doing. Now, feel the vessel and feel that flow of Gaia and source energy through the vessel, bringing it back into the here and the now, coming back away from that full record, come into the now, into the wholeness of you. Good. Now I want you to use your compass and ask, is my masculine energy at its optimum vibration, frequency, and expression right now for my growth and expansion, for my work? I gotta know. I'm going to call in that masculine energy just by focusing and calling down from source divine masculine, feminine, or masculine energy, attuned for my expression, to embody me, to help me embody me and my work in full masculine form. Now, I have my masculine energy flowing down my left side. Some of you may have it flowing down your right side. I think most do. But sometimes it is different, I have found. So don't try to force it right now. Just allow it to come down through. Feel it flowing through the body. If you've got it passing back and forth through the body, that is okay. That's where we're going to get to. So don't fight it. Just allow it and observe how is it coming in through your body. Where is it getting stuck? Where is it flowing slower? Where is it flowing too fast? Not holding? More sinus. Keep flowing that energy until it feels, and if you can't tell by feeling, use your compass. It feels, and you get a yes. Yes, it's optimized for me now. And I'm getting a yes to move forward. Now, is my feminine energy optimum and in balance? Is it attuned to what is the best, most supportive frequency for my growth, my work, my expansion? No. So I start calling in divine feminine and ask that it be attuned into optimum feminine energy for me, for my expression, to help me release and see and understand for source what I needed to by holding the old expression of that energy as I flow that feminine feminine energy through me. Flow it down, seeing the areas that are stagnant, where it's pooling because it's been stagnant. Flush and flow those areas out. Remember, when the body makes those sounds or tones while you're breathing, that's to bring a tone in to help influence and release. Don't resist it. Just let it go. Make the sound. It's cool. Flow that energy down and through until it feels like it's flowing clear and strong and healthy. And your compass says, my masculine and my feminine both are now at optimum frequency. I got a yes. Now I'm going to feel those energies through my body, and I'm going to balance them with each other and allow them to naturally coil through my system as they flow through the body with intention, allowing them to cross and to swirl and to play and to balance each other as is optimum for my expression. As I send my balanced masculine and feminine energies down my roots into Gaia, loving and contributing to her as I receive from her. Pulling in that source energy and projecting up my balanced whole self in masculine and feminine form. Good. And stay in this state for as long as you want. I think that was perfect for what we're doing today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.